Welcome to today's edition of NMH at 1, where we bring you a quick update on today's news from around the nation. Suspended CEO of Fishcor, Mike Nghipunya, returned to court today for the continuation of his bail hearing. He stands accused of having a hand in the ongoing fish rod bribery saga. As part of proceedings, Nghipunya's lawyer cross-examined Anti-Corruption Commission investigator Willem Olivier. The state is opposing bail being granted. A total of 68,000 migrants are working in Namibia. This is according to the Labour Minister, Utoni Nuyoma, who launched the National Labour Migration Policy in response to the SADC free movement policies. A migrant worker is defined as a person who moves to another country or area in order to find employment, in particular seasonal or temporary work.
Who was brutalized by the American police. We condemn that action, and you have seen how the whole world, the rally now, there is a movement. So this issue ties in with what we are launching today, also to encourage our brothers and sisters there in the United States of America to come back to Africa. They have the skills so that we develop Africa. When I was listening to the news the other day, there was a tender allocated to build the airport in Atlanta. That because that state is governed by, you remember the history of Martin Luther King and so on. So they made sure that this tender must be allocated to the black Americans, and today it is one of the best airports constructed in the United States of America. So thank you very much, Honorable Hafeni Demula, Deputy Minister of Labor and Industrial Relations and Employment Creation, Advocate Vicky Atwevo, Special Advisor to the Minister, Mrs. Florence Tumbeko, Head Office, International Organization for Migration, Namibia, Mr. Job Munyaro, Secretary General of the National Union of Namibian Workers, Mr. Mahongoro Kabihiwa, Secretary General of the Trade Union Congress of Namibia, Mr. Dan Strauss, Secretary General of the Namibia Employers Federation Organization, senior government officials, esteemed stakeholders, members of the media, ladies and gentlemen. I'm reading this statement seated because it's the new norm, social distancing. The new norm, so long as you are practicing social distance everywhere, in the restaurant, anywhere, at the news conference, it is okay. I'm pleased to be with you today to launch the National Migration Policy and its implementation plan. This is a milestone in the Namibia social and economic development and a response to the call of SADC Protocol on Free Movement, as well as SADC Labour Migration Action Plan and Policy Framework.
Up next, a look at official data about COVID-19 in Namibia by Sunday, 7 June 2020. We're showing you the testing data. One new recovery was announced this morning, bringing the recovery rate to 55%. 17 positive cases remain in isolation. Average new tests per day for the last 7 days stood at 118 on Sunday. Sunday saw the biggest group yet being discharged from quarantine in Namibia. A total of 130 individuals were allowed to go home, 80 in the Commerce region and 29 in the Otjozondjupa region. A testing map there, more than 2,000 people have now been tested for COVID-19 in Commerce region. The map shows that more tests are being done in certain other districts, but in many, less than 100 or less than 50 individuals have been tested by Monday, the 8th of June. Now for news, Namibia's woes are once again in the news, with both Namibian Sun and its sister newspaper in the NMH stable, Republican, reporting that the airline's creditors are on edge after the president hinted at a liquidation last week. Public Enterprises Minister Leon Schuster, however, said the turnaround plan submitted to the Cabinet Committee on the Treasury last week does not propose liquidating the airline. Republican reports that Irongo residents are up in arms and threatening to drag government to court over the full lockdown of the region, which they say will destroy the regional economy. Namibian Sun reports that the Hillside Christian College at Walvis Bay has suspended a teacher for racial rants on Facebook last week. Allgemeine Zeitung's front page is also dominated by Irongo's plans to launch a petition and demonstrations against the lockdown of the region, as well as an incident in Oshakati where a passenger in a taxi shot a man who tried to rob him. Both men are in custody. New Era reports that authorities in China will screen and recommend a shortlist of Chinese companies operating in Namibia for the much anticipated upgrading of the Usia Kutaku International Airport. The Namibian takes this story further by saying that China has purportedly given the Namibian government a list of companies that will bid for the airport tender. Also on their front page is a story about how a 443,000 payment towards Dilimani manager Jesse Nambanza's vehicle loan in 2017 has been flagged as the potential proceeds of the fish rot scandal. From the inside pages now of the country's dailies, New Era reports on the death of Burundi's president, Pierre Nkurunziza, at the age of 55. The Namibian reports that double murderer Philemon Nkande, who shot dead a mother and a son in northern Namibia 8 years ago, has been sentenced to an effective 70 years in prison. Allgemeine Zeitung reports that the Otjiwarongo municipality's fire department on Monday spent nearly 3 hours extinguishing a fire at an oval track near the local dump site, where 15 tires had been set alight. Similar incidents have plagued the town recently. Namibian Sun reports that of the 174 resolutions adopted at the second National Land Conference held in October 2018, 29 have been completed and 145 are in progress. From the inside pages of Republican, a look at the detail on the Arambe Prosperity Plan's hits and misses. The plan reached 70% of its targets. That is it for today. We wish you a safe Tuesday, and remember, you can stay tuned for a weather snapshot.
party going on in here.